to the live. Say hey to the live. What's funny? Y'all gonna have to give me a second because this is very impromptu. I ain't have, but I didn't know I was about to like get on here and do a live. But I think it's necessary. I think God thinks whatever conversation we're about to say right now is all right because you know there might be a situation, a circumstance, an event that might take place or happen, and it's gonna call for you to make an executive decision and or an informed decision. You might have to see a scenario, an event, certain circumstances play out so that you know what to do, obviously. Like using your discernment. God could have showed you something, told you something, and this is where discernment in regards to self, other people, environment, situations, circumstances, what whatever you believe it to be. I'm hearing you're not tripping. That's what I'm hearing. You're not tripping. Like and here in the background somewhere you might not be able to hear it, but it's a cat howling like somebody did something to it. Let me tell y'all while I'm getting myself together. Y'all come up in here. Y'all come up in here. Like this cat, I don't know if this cat being attacked or what. It ain't me because, like I was telling y'all, a few weeks ago, someone tried to send an attack, and it's like, wrong person, duh. So, them back to senders is back to sendering. And I don't know what school has to do with anything, but what's interesting? Because I haven't posted online yet. I will when the time is right. So you guys know I've been trying to do the American Heritage Society classes since last month, but there was a 2 month delay. Like something about 2 months is significant, right? And what's so all right, one thing at a time. Because something about school is significant, especially because I'm supposed to be doing these classes for y'all. Maybe something about revision that needs to be done. I don't know if that's in regards to your own schooling or the classes, some sort of revision, or like something like take your time. Like there's no rush. Because whatever you're receiving, there's no rush. You're going to receive it. It's your destiny. It's my destiny. I'm going to have what I want. I'm supposed to have. So. But that manipulative energy, that manipulative person, people, place, thing, that's trying to cause delay. And so interesting because before I went to this event today, um while I was there online, just scrolling online or whatever, scrolling, scribe, get it. So I see this picture online, this post or whatever, talking about should I tell y'all? Should I tell y'all? This all I'm gonna say is I got like God basically showed me something before I went to a particular place, and I was like, all right, I understand. Granted, all right, let's start with all right. Before I get into the event, let's start with what I want to tell you about. What I'm gonna show y'all on the page in the upcoming weeks or so, because God has a divine timing when these uploads come on here. So there's something about like a delay that was necessary, but not a delay for you and your life or me or my life, God forbid. What it's really talking about is like, all right, someone could have tried to delay you. Some delay could have happened. It could have been divine intervention of some sort, even if it was a manipulated event where God didn't cause the divine intervention and someone tried to manipulate a situation so that it could seem that way, it's still going in your favor. It's still like you're still going to receive the blessing. Amen. I receive. So really quickly, I'm gonna tell y'all about what's been going on in regard to American Heritage Society classes. So I decided that I was gonna do these American Heritage Society classes in the summer, and as soon as summer started, in regards to technology, and that's an Aquarius embodiment. Aquarius is in regards to predictive programming, not even just predictive programming, like prophecy. So I said, all right, I'm gonna start in the summer. I believe June came around, and then there was an issue with technology, and I was just like, you know what? Because prior to the year, I was taking some constructive criticism about, what everything looks like, especially with these social media apps and stuff like that. A lot of people care about how it looks, and there's nothing wrong with that because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And in regards to technology, the fancier things are, the more HD things are, the more like, in regards to all that, that's what gets people to come where you are because I've been, studying in regards to the spiritual community on this platform before, these blessings started coming in. I realized very quickly, like even though the glitz and the glamour, draws people in, it's the real question is how do you get people to stay, you know? And that's not really a question of in regards of am I looking for people to stay or followers, this, that, there. Like I learned if you know, especially if you're in the industry, if you know, like me personally, I don't care about all that stuff. I care about what I do, I care about the message, what I represent, what I stand for, my morals, that's all a person can really like want for themselves for real, for real. But then you have the entertainment aspect of it all, the glitz, the glam. I can't help it. I'm blitzed and glammed up just by birth. You should feel that way about yourself too. The reason why I, in particular, do not care so much about the glitz and glam of a lot of scenarios is because medicine. It's because mm, what? Excuse me. I already see an interruption trying to. I already see an interruption trying to come in regards to this embodiment of technology or prophecy prediction, predictive programming. It's like every time you about to do something, somebody don't want you to say something. Somebody don't want you to speak so that they could take what you said, or somebody does want you to speak about something so they can take what you're talking about and act like they the one that thought about it first. Y'all see, it's something like that. Dang, like remember the movie based on how Facebook was created. It was a group of men came together, had the idea for the Facebook app, but then 2 minutes specific, and then one man just came and just took over, made it better, amped it up. Had, these like something about seeing somebody's vision, but thinking you can do better than them. And I'm not saying in a malicious connotation. I'm talking about some real like. Sometimes people don't see the true potential of their own vision. That's why sometimes people be like, "Oh my gosh, it's not fair. Why they get to do this and why they get to do that and why they look like this and why they look like that?" Because they saw what you was doing and they felt like they can do it better. But really, it's all about intent, too. To be honest, I'm hearing different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on, and something about a someone. Hey, Chad, what's good in the comment section? Let's get the energy up. What y'all talking about? What's your life like? Anywho, so like I was saying, with the ass and whatever American Heritage Society, not whatever, but I'm just saying because I was so over this situation because I was trying. It even got to the month of July, right? And in the month of July, ironically, that is the anniversary of American Heritage Society and Me Multimedia 7. And I was like, all right, great. I can, get this technology, get these new gadgets, whatever, so that I can give y'all these classes. And around the arrival of the time of the anniversary, let me tell y'all, let me tell y'all, it got so interesting because while I was trying to do so, I went to one place. I wanted to go to one place in particular, get this particular gadget. But then I was like, nah, I had other options. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Now, it's something about someone's birth, something about values, self worth, all those type of scenarios, right? At the time, when I wanted to do all these things, I felt like I didn't have the time in the schedule and the daily plan to go do the certain things I want to do and the way I want to do it, right? So then I was like, all right, I had a specific reference from the past that I never kind of tapped into. So I was like, let me go see about that. But instead of going to that same area, let me go somewhere different. I went to the different place and they told me that they could not service me, they couldn't help, even though their qualification says that they could. And I went out my way to do so. Follow, I went out my way to do so. So I'm just like, I feel a little bit offended, but I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. I was already in the mode to go to another location, but because of the scenario, I was like, all right, I don't think I'll be able to fit that into the schedule, into the daily planner for today. Now, not once but twice, the place I was originally supposed to go to, I didn't go to. I wanted to make an exception. I wanted to, you know, I don't want to say get another referral. But then, if you even think about it, when it comes to, when in regards to referrals in life, when you ever ask somebody for a referral, you're hoping that referral is going to grant you access to where you need to be, right? So the place I had in mind to begin with, I didn't go to, but I went to the referral, and the referral told me they couldn't help, basically. And you know what's so ironic? I wanted to be upset about that, but on my way to go to the next location, that is when an opportunity became available. Somewhere that I hadn't been, but I know I would enjoy myself in this environment. I went to there, and not only did I get there, I got there on time. Like literally, the vicinity had opened up exactly when I got there. It's like God will literally open doors for you to go to specific places because and not even just open doors for you like a blessings and miracles and stuff like that. It's just like in regards of like certain things can't even. I'm worried, not worried, but I was trying to get a particular scenario, trying to get my gadgets, trying to go to the referral vicinity because this is what people were referring to. This is what people were saying, and there's one demographic of this is where you need to go. And then when I got there, this referral couldn't do nothing for me apparently, which means that they needed a referral. So I was going to the person as a referral that needed a referral. So like that wasn't going to work. But as soon as I left that vicinity, literally, like walked a few couple steps, another vicinity opened up, all like literally open. And I was just like, wow. And they were so accommodable. But there was something I noticed. I don't know if that maybe that's significant to the message. The store opened up very accommodable. The person knew I was a content creator, so because obviously, gadgets and whatnot I got. So this person went out their way to be even more accommodable. I was just thinking like maybe content creators come here all the time, something like that. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. Did that, got a whole bunch of content. It was cool, but then it was like this weird energy because like the person who was servicing me was a guy, The guy was Caucasian, and I love me some Caucasian sometimes, like the good vibe and ones. And then it was like the I don't know, something happened where I came across the Caucasian guy. He was relatively by himself when he was speaking to me, but then he got with another Caucasian guy. And it's so interesting because the Caucasian man, was relatively like tall, all right? Not that I was noticing it or anything like that, but what we say about the tall folk come from that kind of lineage and certain angels and stuff like that. So there's an underlying message in part for that. But I wasn't thinking about that at first until he went to speak with one of his coworkers, and this person kind of looks like very small to him, just like in height and size. But when he was speaking to the coworker, I noticed them having like sidebar conversation, and it's like the personality switched. Now, this could have, like I said, I was trying to get these gadgets and devices so I can do new content and stuff like that around June. So I guess that's when Pride Month was taken up, and it's so all right. So all LGBTSI, no fun. Pride, the word and then how interesting. Maybe this is why it's coming up because we're in the month of August, Leo season. Leo in a negative connotation to talk about pride, and so I don't know. Once again, underlying message. So like it was Pride Month. The only reason I bring this up is because they were I guess showcasing that it wasn't all around the environment of the vicinity, but they had like certain areas they would put that on. The area where I was seated at, they didn't have the Pride memorabilia, I guess, around. And the Caucasian man, he was acting a particular way with me in conversation. But when he was talking to the other man and having that cyber conversation, that where the pride flag was at. Now I did know. I don't want to be rude, but you could tell like the guy was of the possibly of the LGBT community. That Caucasian tall man switched his whole vibe of got to talking real sassy, and I just kind of overheard. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, nothing like it. Just I kind of overheard. I was just like, oh, and it was so interesting because like no funny, no shade. Hold on, where did wait. So yeah, so I just happened to be going around that area to go do something else, and when I was mind my business, I was moving in a different direction basically. But I to go in a different direction, I kind of had to metaphorically brush shoulders with with their conversation, and he knew I overheard whatever part of the conversation to know that he had switched up, and I'm just like, I'm not hearing anything like that, but like the way he looked at me was like kind of like embarrassed and fear or something like that. So I'm just like, that's your life, not mine. Like I don't know why you would want to be pretending that. So that situation happened. Just take the message out like this. So then after that scenario, I was like, all right, instead of, doing the most in regards to that situation, let me just do something locally that's not gonna take me out of my way, something like that. So had a great time there. Then when I did that, went to someone that I particularly have worked well with, like in regards of me wanting a service being done and it being provided. Usually it was always a good result. I never had to wait more than maybe a week. So now by this time, this is why I'm saying it, because this process started in June. Then July came the anniversary where I was supposed to, really get out those American Heritage Society class messages. But I was but before that, I was gonna just do the messages and do it however. I didn't want to put much thought into it in regards of like the aesthetics and things like that, whatever. Cause I know the aesthetics is what catches you guys' attention, and it's we get into it. Hold that thought right there. The aesthetics is what catches the people's attention. So, wow. So, let me tell you how interesting this gets. So, I had a conversation with somebody. I had a few conversations with some people. Early in the year, it was a woman that was trying to give constructive criticism to me in regards to something. And I heard the constructive criticism, but it was the tone of delivery of speech. And I was just like, all right, this is why I asked God, like, I know I can't please everybody, especially in this type of spiritual community or whatever, but no shade. Like it's just like you gotta just ask God, for people to have understanding and also not really emotional intelligence, but like understanding in a way where you can have a conversation with someone. I'm not saying take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that you don't like I don't you have to be empathic to have a conversation with someone. I'm saying like understanding where you're able to conversate. It don't always have to be debate. And when it is a debate, and when I say debate, I'm not talking like argumentative. I'm saying like two different point of views. You cannot if your point of view is so valid, you cannot let your point of view when someone else has a different point of view than you make you so upset. And you see that? You hear that music? Like trying to cause confusion, trying to cause a ruckus for no reason. Like in regards of you have your own beliefs on a particular situation. I'm not saying wrong or right. I'm saying like one of those situations where, all right, you think a certain type of way, you have a different mindset than somebody else. Duh. This could be because of any type of, I guess, like age or gender or spiritual belief, or it's so many things that, everybody's not the same. But just because somebody's not the same as you don't mean you gotta be mad at them. Hello, clock it. So maybe this is why the LGBT thing has been mentioned, because it's like some, God forbid, I don't want to say nothing about homophobia, God forbid. Because it's just like, I don't think that's just like the analogy, like when they be like, I ain't even going into that because I don't know community guidelines. I don't got time for them replaying my videos, no funny. But yeah, so I went to the person. I usually don't have a problem with that, but right before I spoke to the person, I had I won't really say conversation, but like I was in some constructive criticism indirectly for a particular person. It was just like, yeah, like, but it felt it was constructive criticism, but at the same time, the stuttering. Hold up. It's something like a bond you have with somebody. So like, all right, here go respect, right? Respected leaders, authoritative figures. That being the embodiment, not the joy, the embodiment of Aquarius, prophecy prediction, um, Taurus, authoritative figure, stability, Libra, justice overall. Anyways, anyways. So with that being said, with constructive criticism or when you're getting advice, it matters the person you're getting the advice from. Because and it's so we're gonna get into it. So it's so interesting because it's just like, all right, this person in particular, previously the person they were being like was a woman. You know how women can be sometimes. It's not everybody, it's not every time that these such things occur. I feel like that's even a stereotype in itself. But neither here or there. This person was previously gave constructive criticism, but it was come from a malicious place, and because in a sense I had proved them wrong because the same thing they were telling me that they didn't like, I revised it, and then you know I addressed them on it, and then they didn't even like it. I knew they were upset, but it wasn't like they showed they was upset. They actually told me like, oh my, it was one of those like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, all right, I get it, like, oh my gosh, it was like doing a I told you so without doing a I told you so because that was never the intention. It was like, see, I could do it, but isn't that what you wanted to hear though? Obviously not. If the intention was off. So now this person does respect. Give me the same constructive criticism. This person didn't just give me the constructive criticism. They actually also gave me examples. I'll say that. This person could have told me something specific, but I wasn't trying to go for what they was talking about in a specific term because of my because I like in my own scenario. So I took that as an example. I'll just say that. Because I had to use my own discernment in this situation, but I really should have followed through a little bit more with my own discernment in regards to the whole scenario. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna explain to that in a second. Hold on. Yeah, so that motivated me and really amped me up to be like, all right, let me go get the situation solved because like even to me, I was like, this is unordinary. This situation is taking too long to happen. I don't usually gotta wait. So like I said, I did. So this time, I'm just like, all right. Instead of going out my way off of referral, let me go to what I know and has been working for me. I'll go there, and at first, now this is the thing. It's something about connections. Lover, loved one, friend, relative, romantic, platonic, business partnerships, one of the other, whatever. You'll know. There's something about that in regards to connection. So this could be in regards to your seventh house placement, right? No, I get there. The person who I had the connection with in regards to the service, the product, everything in regards to that scenario that could be of help was not there. And then there was these people in the vicinity that I know, um, two in particular, that have been there with this other person. And it was so interesting because this scenario allowed me to see a different perspective of what was going on because I was coming from the perspective of, all right, you have a service that you can help me with to help me do something that I can service to help other people with. And it's usually like just that, like simple. But when I came into the situation, because when I came there that day and those two people that had relatively been there for a while, but the person I had a connection with was not there. I got to see a whole different perspective of how, honestly, their their business was being managed, and how unprofessional and at the same time, you know, unequipped they were. And it's so ironic because like the parallel to that, it's like, all right, it's not that at the moment when I wanted to do the class message that I was unequipped or unprepared. What it really was that there was a delay in assistance, like the connection to help. And once that person wasn't there that particular day, and those other two people were unequipped, because what I found out in the situation was that no one else in the vicinity, even if owned by the person, could do the job, provide the service, provide the help that was needed to the consumer. But the person that was hired at that position was the only person that was able to help. And those people, without their way to hide that fact, those people went out their way to say that, to even prove and show how unequipped they were. It was like mind baffling because like it was like every day was something different, and I'm just like, wow. And it was like the parallel to that is like that's how this is how this particular business was ran, how it's perceived to be and what it is. And I was going there getting service provided for me so simple. It was not hard because I was going to the right person. I was speaking to the right person. I was making connection with the right person. Are you understanding? But like these other people, so it's something about a dynamic where there's someone that can help you, but they're surrounded or around or working with. Take the message, just could be you or somebody else. Take the perspective how it needs to be taken. They're around somebody or people that can't really help them. And you might be connected to this person, or it could be you, or it could be this other person. Take the message out anyways. And I'm like, this is interesting because the parallel is this is how someone particular, it could be these people, the embodiments of the people being used as a vessel for the enemy, where they want, that's what's going on with them. They want it, that destiny swap and false narrative. They want that to be you. All right. And I wasn't going for it. Like God told me in that situation, like what to do. And there's these rare situations usually where when God be like, all right, don't overreact, because God knows me. Like I don't have no problem saying how I feel. I really don't. But like sometimes for the narrative, for the plot, for the blessings to come in a certain type of way, God tell you just be quiet, observe. I'm about to show you something. So you could have told somebody this. Somebody, somebody could show you something. Like I don't. You could show somebody something because what I know is God don't play by me. So it's like I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So the delay or the effect, the aesthetics of the delay, it was just like I could see that's an illusion. I could see that's projection. That don't got nothing to do with me. I'ma just see what y'all do basically in this situation. So the first thing they did was for a reason, I just knew don't tell these people you got a connection with this person because like then they're gonna try to do something weird. So I was just asking at first, like, do you know how to do such and such and this and that third? Because the person told me they could already do it. They just weren't at the establishment at the time, at the vicinity. So I was just like, all right, cool. Let me see if they can do it or if they can at least, start the process before this person get there. They're like, we don't know how to do that. That's not a service we provide. Whatever, whatever, whatever. I'm just like, the entryway of your vicinity clearly states that you can do these type of services. So like you're just really being like rude for no reason. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Then they just and then because they were already being rude. I didn't want to tell them that I knew the other person could do the job. So this is when this person before like this is when this person was like, "Oh yeah, you here for such and such? You here for such and such?" And I'm just like, "Wait, hold up." This is where I started realizing that the people, even the owner of the establishment, were like either jealous or envious of this person that they even hired to help. I'm like, ain't no way. Because he could do what they couldn't. Reach. So I'm just like, isn't that ironic? So
I got money. My family got money.
round of money. So basically, I'm just like, all right. So then I'm just like, all right, y'all trying to make a big scene, whatever the case may be. How long? Like, I mean, they tell me they can't do it. I'm like, all right, give it back to me in my possession. But so then ooh, somebody just wanted you to feel broke down, be broke, all this type of weird stuff. And it's possibly happening to them now. How ironic. Let it all work out. Let it all work out. Yeah. Let it all work out. Isn't that a Lil Wayne song? But it's a sample. I don't know who's singing it on the sample or um the chorus or bridge, but that's a Lil Wayne song, embodiment of Libra. I'm telling you that seventh house, partnerships, and something about the Gemini embodiment. Lover, love, one friend, romantic, platonic, relative, business partner, possibilities. So now I start coming to the vicinity, I start doing pop-ups. Like on some like I already know what type of time y'all are on. If I ask y'all when this person gonna be here, y'all gonna do something weird. I already perceived that before the fact. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just start coming there randomly and see like if this guy be in there. I started doing that. You know what? The first time I did that, I was like, dang, it is a possibility that they're gonna start doing something weird, even because they see me popping up. I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it. So I did it like a few times. And then after that, um, they started telling me when this person was gonna be there. I start coming there. I start coming there when they tell me the person was gonna be there to service and help. And guess what happened? They said that the person basically wasn't gonna be back there for like a week or so. So I intuitively knew that they had cut that person days. I'm like, because this person can service me and y'all can't, y'all cut these days, but then it was a different perspective. I'm like, you know what? If I was that person, and God forbid, I'm not trying to be that person's position like that, but I'm just saying that person probably took the week off to find a new job or I'm like realistically. So I'm just like, dang, I was just ready to come back and help me, whatever. And they did. They eventually did. But like the back and forth, like they was just trying to give me the wrong time. They tell me when the person won't be there, but there. It was also had to, and this was prolonged in regards to this service that had to be done and was done. It took about approximately 2 months. I have never seen such unprofessionalism in my life. I was just like, all right, noted. Because I like after that scenario, even if I had a connection with the person, unless it's like outside that vicinity, I really don't care to put much into that business. Not sorry. So basically, when I did come in contact with the person was basically talking to me. The person I was connected to that was going to help me basically talking to me in code. They were talking to me in code, was giving me the eye, like, yo, like, it's some other stuff going on. So I'm just like, all right. Let it all work out. Let it all work out. Yeah. Let it all work out. I'm just hearing justice. because particular situation, somebody tried to delay you and purposely because they couldn't do something because what like that just sound like you want to be me. Like no, you know that ain't right. It could never be right like that. So funny. But yeah. So maybe that's where that theme of pride and ego came in. I don't know what the LGBT reference has to do with anything, but anywho's. So the person told me they could fix it, and then ironically I started having this false issue with them because and it wasn't even an issue. So the person told me they could fix it. What happened? What come to find out that the person I was connected to that could help me in the situation while everybody else in the vicinity, including the owner, couldn't help me in this situation, supposedly. That person had a connection with someone else that could actually do it. So really, quote unquote, in hood slang terminology, it'd be like this dude had the plug, and he was supposed to be my plug. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, if you don't know what that terminology means, that just means like networking, basically. Like, I needed assistance with something. This person could help me because they knew somebody that can help assist them, assist me. And networking, it worked. It worked. But the thing is now, so first I had to go through the delay. Well, God forbid, no. It was perceived I had to go through a delay, but really, the person that was a connection with me was going through a delay. But that was the false narrative because this person was connected to the person that can help release the delay, but that person got put in a delay, but only because they was trying to help. So it's something in regards to like someone was trying to attack you in regard. This could be even in regards to business endeavor. Somebody was trying to attack you in regards of like who helped you. All right, that like this person like you, this person want to help you, this person want to do this, that, and the third with you. All right, we're gonna do something to them so they can't be of convenience to you. Like what? Meanwhile, if this is the person, the connection that helping me do something, it's not that it's about me, but I'm just saying, if this person is of use, is useful, helpful in any way, you try to take that away from me by doing a manipulative tactic. So you basically taking that element away from that person, so they won't even be able to help you in that type of demeanor, anyways. So then, what else are they useful for you? It's all about that intent. You see, now when this person was able to help me, and it was a little bit of a delay, but it didn't matter because I was still going to get what I wanted. I come back to retrieve my gadgets and stuff like that. There was a woman in there because backstory while this was going down, while I was perceived like possibly this person was supposed to help me, they send in shot. Look, they send in shot. Went back to senders, going back. Let me tell you, this person, yeah. Once the delay was over, this person, like, I was perceiving him, like, around the time till I found a new place of work or a new business endeavor. Because I, like, who works somewhere that is open 7 days a week, only work there, like, about 2 or 3 days? So I'm like, this person definitely got has stuff going on. So by the time the person came back, before the person came back, let's talk about it. So I come into the vicinity, and then there's a whole bunch of people in there. Now, like I was trying to explain, basically while the guy was gone, they hired new people. The one of the people I spoke to, and they were acting as if they could help, but then come to find out that wasn't even the department of specialties and experience. This person, if I even tell you what this person was doing, I was just like, and what the person was doing is actually a skill, but it's a completely different skill set than what I needed to be done. So I'm just like, the audacity is crazy. Then, then I seen they but like this was like a basically I seen that they hired a woman. This was like a male dominated business. They hired a woman, and I knew symbolically what that meant for me. They hired a woman, and she opened up a new demographic of different services and products in their establishment that had nothing to do with what they were doing. But I understood what that was. That was like an attention grabber for business. Like some like you could be a person. I receive that in the mighty name of God. You could be a person that people look towards. Um, this could be in regards to like being an influencer, or people really think like your business stands out, or you have some. I don't know. You have something that you can bring to a specific demographic of people that's gonna help other businesses. Amen. I receive it. Not and people might see that. So like these destiny helpers that come in to try to help you and stuff like that, and people trying to get them not to do it or try to hinder your destiny helpers so they can't make it to you. When I say that back to sender, go and have them on the BUTT. Like there you go, beauty. It's something about beauty that's very much incorporated because the gadgets I needed was in regards to enhancing my beauty, and I'm not talking about in a surgical way because we ain't doing that over here. But to each his own. Anyways, so this woman came into the vicinity before the guy can get in there. The person supposed to help me, and the person was just like belligerent, irate, going off, like, and they was not wrong about anything they said. It was so funny because God told me to just hush, be quiet in the situation, let the situation play out, and watch how I turn it around for you. And you ain't even gotta say a word. Because I knew they was being unprofessional. I knew it was being rude. I knew this was unlike the business ethical behaviors. But I didn't say anything. It was just kind of one of those scenarios where it's like y'all know better. So this woman came in was just going off. It's like everything I wanted to say in the time frame is what she was saying. She said, "Where is my belonging, my products, my services? Because it's been 2 months." Didn't I just say it was taking 2 months? She got, it's been 2 months. What y'all gotta say for yourself? This, that, and third going on. She like, matter of fact, give me my money back. I'm like, oh, that's somebody, because God know me. Like, I would have been quick to do it, but I really wanted something. So it's like somebody want to test how much you really want something, how much you really want to do something. Like, oh, by trying to hinder you, just like this is one of the scenarios where dang. Oh my gosh, I was watching this movie. I don't even remember what the movie is about, but there was a scenario where this guy basically, I don't want to say this is the reason, but like basically the storyline of this one particular character on the show, he turned out to be like a kind of a terrible person. I ain't even gonna hold you. Kind of like his life just kind of went. But before that, he used to play tennis, and when he used to play tennis, like it was really because I guess it was like his father's dream, and his father, had him playing tennis for a young age. And then I'm not gonna hold you, dude, man, very skilled, very talented, and so like I understand the perspective. Like the father's just like, you got this gift, you got this skill, you gonna use it, and plus this was his dream, so like it's just kind of like meshed all together. It kind of come up with a good connotation, but that became obsession for the parental figure, and it made the guy not want to play the sport anymore. Although he would be doing Olympics and getting scholarships and all types of sponsorships and deals and stuff like that, but he didn't want to do no more because his heart wasn't in it, and it was never his. I guess his passion. I guess, and that made the father figure so upset that he even had to put hands on her. And so he ran into it, and that just kind of turned into a downward spiral of life, his life and stuff. But the teacher song, I forget on my life. But that, like, ooh, like when this movie had came, it started turning up in there. We're talking about, all the things I wanted to say in that particular situation. I was just like, wow. It's something about like something without saying. Because like when she was like, "Give me my money back," it was like that scenario, like where he was just like, like I don't want to test no more. Like I don't want to test no more. Like you doing all this for what? I already skilled, already know what I'm doing, I already know what I want, and then you just doing extras. Like you doing so much extra so that I don't do what I not like that, but it's just one of those scenarios like, all right, so you already doing something. You trying to improve on what you're doing because the guy was training and everything. And then someone, a third party, some sort of father figure, something like that, tried to do the most to like, I guess they felt like that it was some sort of emotional training, but they really need to emotionally train themselves because the way he was acting towards them off of like, if it's your gift, it's your gift. It's your skill, it's your skill. It's your talent, it's your talent. Nobody can take it away from you. If you want to use it, you can use it. If you don't want to use it, I mean, that's between you and God. But the third party, this quote unquote father figure like that, like, wish they could do what you could do, but can't, and then like, will I make you feel bad because of it? No, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. That is not how somebody having their own gift, destiny, talent, skill set. That you don't have to share. I don't have to share your angry emotions. I don't have to share your sad emotions. I don't have to share none of that. But what I could get is my justice in regards of I having a gift, a skill, talent, skill set, whatever, to do what I'm called to do, to be in my destiny, without feeling unprovoked or provoked or whatever the case may be. Because it's not my fault that you are upset. That is a personal problem that you gotta handle. And this is where I guess the beginning of what I was talking about in regards of like communication style, in regards of understanding people. Things don't have to be a debate. You can agree to disagree, and that's fine. Don't let what someone else got going on upset you. Sometimes it's more easier said than done, but like, when you really think about it, because it's been too many scenarios where somebody tried to play and people, there's scenarios of my own personal bias where people have tried to play in my face and then try to emulate what I'm supposed to have. What I gain is going to come to me at the right time. Now, what's other people try to emulate and not with good intent to do whatever you get back at you, and like that's the only reason for doing what they're doing. Those scenarios and situations usually go to shit. Like, I'm not even going to hold you. It's not all that's cracked up to DNA. Like, but they want you to be the joke. I forget all my life. Long story short, a major part into the story is that, mind you, I was waiting 2 months to get this service provided for me, right? And they made it seem like it was such a hassle to do something that they said a service they could provide, and then just for 2 months later for me to get the service provided on the day I was getting the service provided, that took so long, and I'm so happy for it. And I said without complaining. Somebody else basically came to my defense because they went through the same scenario. So it could be a scenario where somebody could have been perceiving you or a situation a particular way, and then it happened to them, and then they just saw, oh my God, like, now they upset. Now they want to stand up for you. Now they want to. What happened? Like, you almost want to ask, like, what happened? I thought you was. But now you understand. Like, sometimes people gotta go through what you go through to like understand your experience. But not everybody gonna act the same experience because I held my tongue and I didn't have to do so. But God told me it's something about when you. It's interesting because today we were talking about the spirit of instruction. So like in regards to that, I listen to God instruction. Like with people, I can listen to them and I can constructive criticism, advice, whatever you want to call it, and I can make my own informed decision using my discernment. But when it comes to the voice of God, when God tell me something, I listen. God was like, "Don't worry about it, don't say that." And this woman came on my behalf. Basically, I ain't even know her, and she like this tall lady. She came to my like defense in regards to like telling them off, like for real, like really telling them people about themselves. And the whole story, the whole funny part of the story is that before that happened, before the person could even come in to help me, I came into the vicinity and I started looking around. Now this is a vicinity I've been to a lot of times, but like this particular day was different. These people were missing several products, several services that they could have been mentioning to the consumers. Furniture was missing in regards to like and it's so funny because they had like the tempered glass and stuff like that. The glasses were broken out of the seams. So I'm like, they had just been robbed. I'm like, how ironic. They were missing the products, the glass was broken. They talk about broken glass, and you know the symbology of broken glass is in regards to like a spell being broke or uh, basically. So that illusion, that delay, that same day, it was broken because my phone had to be fixed that day. I had to receive my product and my services, and everything started working out. But that time, that 2 months, gave me time to think about how I want to do the American Heritage Society classes for y'all. It's coming, don't worry, it'll be here. I got a lot of different things I'm gonna try to do and incorporate for you guys. Anyways, I got a lot of stuff I gotta do for myself too. So, and I'm gonna always just see the help. And it's like you never know who knows who because it's like this person came to help me, and there's always a scenario with me, and I thank God for that. You know, all these blessings and opportunities. Like you can know somebody who knows somebody and put you in a position. It's not right. Now, um, I was gonna talk about a few more things, but I think that's the message overall. All right, talk to y'all.